Yeah, Mayor and Council, we're happy to have Lavelle Holloway, who is the Director of Kansas City Operations for Guest here, to give us an update and talk to us about how the first 2 months of ridership has gone in Gladstone. Come up to the
Councilman Bob. Pardon me, I'm just getting over a little bit of a snuffleupagus, as I call it. Got a little bit of a deep voice here. Um, First of all, we want to thank the City of Gladstone for piloting us, trusting us, allow us to be in this forum, in this space. It has meant a tremendous amount to us as a company to be able to be a part of the Gladstone community. And I don't want to walk away with it without you guys knowing our extreme gratitude appreciation for the trust that you guys have shown us. I'm going to scan through some slides, going to give you some data points, and then I'll open the floor up for questions afterwards. All righty. So for those of you who don't know, we're green, safe, green, easy, safe transportation. Yes, it's pretty straightforward. Um, and what we like to do is curate transportation and elevated experiences. What we learned in the first 2 months of operating, starting in September 1, we learned that the Gladstone community loves what we do and there's an absolute need in it. So when we think about where we started off from the number of 268, and then you see we added Liberty in October and we went from 268 to 447, right? Over a 66% improvement. That says a lot about, number one, the community's need and our ability to market together, meaning seamlessly with Nikki and team, Bob and team, but also with our guest team to allow people to learn about what we do and to grow this ridership. But again, because when you look at the numbers, that's a tremendous amount of growth. But then when you look at the far right column and you see Liberty, not only did we increase ridership in Gladstone, but we added Liberty on that with 209 total trips for a total of 656, which is phenomenal given the short time span that we've been doing this within your community. Some real key learnings is about where those rides are coming from. So what we learned is that roughly a third of those rides are coming from Liberty. But if you look at that larger dark circle, they're part of that circle, the bulk of it is coming from Gladstone. So that, again, that proves out the model that number one, not only is there a need in Gladstone, but we're still taking care of, while picking up Liberty, the citizens of Gladstone at the same time. And they'll continue to grow with us and ride with us. The next part of this is about the passenger experience, right? We implemented this survey starting on the 1st of November because we want to show evolution and we also want you guys to have transparency about the experiences of the people that choose to fill out the survey in which we do. So again, when you look at that first part where it says recommend, that's awesome. Out of the 12 people that have taken this survey, basically all of them have said they would absolutely recommend us. Safety, we got 5 out of 5 on that, which is near and dear to my heart because there are 2 non-negotiables with us. Number 1 is safety, and number 2 is how we treat each other, meaning treat each other in the community, within our community, as people that work with me, for me, but also how we treat the people that ride with us. The other part is friendliness, which so safety and friendliness. They gave us a 5 out of 5 on that. And then the trip experience, it's a 4.83. And some of the cool things that maybe, as you see Miss Diane in that picture, and she says, I love the service, the drivers go above and beyond. Carolyn from Liberty says, the driver's always nice, get me to and from work on a daily basis. And then last, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Chris Green. His mom had some very kind or not so kind words to say about the previous service. And Chris says, guest always shows up every day, even on Sundays. We take Chris to work at 6:45 in the morning, 5 days out of the week. The only 2 days that he's off is on Wednesday and Saturday. Guest doesn't start until 7 a.m. That's how much the relationship to not only that individual passenger matters, but the trust that you guys have instilled in us to deliver for your citizens. It's 15 minutes, but it means at least $20 a day to him if he doesn't have that ride via taking an Uber or a Lyft to get to work. And he's only a mile and a half away. So as we move on to the next slide, we talk a little bit more about the passenger experience. We have some pictures in there. To the top left is Chris. He was kind enough. We have such a relationship with us, right? Don't share this, not share this on social media. He trusted us so much, and our relationship matters to him so much. He made it a point to share with us his Halloween costume. He didn't have to do that, right? Even if you look at the picture on the right of that, whereas Overflow Coffee, who we are next door to at the iWorks building, we care enough to, number one, contribute to their business, but also be a part of the community with them. So it's not just, we're just another company from out of town trying to steal from the community and not pay it forward. We're doing everything we can to not only be a part of the community, but also engage with those people in the community because it matters to us, and we do not take this for granted. As you look at some of the ridership numbers now, these ridership numbers are a little skewed. Prior to this, from an age standpoint, we truly believe that most of our riders are skewed over 60. However, when you look at the technology portion of this, of scanning the QR code, that may not lend towards people over 60 filling out the survey, if you will, right? But these 12 people absolutely did. And you see the largest ridership portion of that is basically between 26 and 45. The other thing that's important to understand when you look at how often are people taking rides, 66.7% of people are by and large taking us 3 to 5 times a week. That's to get them to work, that's to get them to much needed doctor's appointments and things that really matter to them. So I'm very fortunate to have people want to use us and trust us with their lives because they know that we're going to get them to work on time. They know that we're going to get them home on time. They know that we're going to get them to their doctor's appointments on time and the things that matter to them, and they trust us, and that trust we take very, very seriously. The next slide is to kind of tell you what we're projecting the future to be. And when you look at this slide, it kind of talks about where we are currently at that October number of 656. But then we also talk about, well, what does it look like as we add cities, other cities, which we just added Riverside, and we'll be adding Parkville at the end of the week. What are we projecting? So we're not just looking at yesterday in the past, but we're also looking at what we need to do as a company to improve for the future. That's i.e. adding vehicles, adding human capital, more ambassadors we call them. We don't call them drivers. But also figuring out how we do better with innovation, things like our app. We're looking at ways to improve upon that. We're looking at ways on how we incentivize our passengers for the experience. So for example, that QR code that you saw that we use, they get to win free rides and free gift cards because they matter. So it's not just a $3 ride to us, it's truly an experience that we want everyone to enjoy when they ride with guests, but also we're an extension of the people and the leadership in this room, and we want to make sure we always represent that well. As you look over to the right side of that column, and it breaks down each individual city and what we're projecting for each one of them, you can see that for this month, we're projecting Gladstone at 520. Well, you go, Lavelle, well, those are great numbers. How you doing? Well, this past week, we did 112 trips just this past week. We're going to get there. And every single week, there's an improvement, right? Then you think about, well, how's Liberty going to do, right? We're projecting Liberty at the same growth pattern of pretty much Gladstone was in their infancy, our first month, right? And then we're looking at Riverside and based on population, and we're looking at Parkville the same way based on population. So that's how we come up with those numbers. So if you're thinking about, bless you, bless you. If you're thinking about, hey, why we're coming up with these numbers, how do we project them forward? That's how we looked at them, is based on using Gladstone as our growth model and understanding the size of Liberty, which is comparable to Gladstone, taking those numbers and extrapolating them out at that similar growth, and then taking those other cities and looking at them holistically based on their square miles and also their population. Short and sweet. Again, we are sincerely in gratitude for you guys allowing us to be a part of your community and trusting us with your citizens. I'm open to take any questions at this point.
Sure.
Well, great presentation. I can't tell you how many people have reached out to me and said how much they're enjoying the service and what it has done for them, especially folks with ADA needs. And so thank you for that. How are you doing with recruitment?
Recruitment is going well. Here's what we're different and unique from. We hire ambassadors. I need you to let that set in for a second. For any of you who have ever taken an Uber or another ride share, they may not be as engaging as you would like them to be. But when they're a part of your citizenry, meaning we represent the municipalities that have been fortunate enough to ingratiate us to the community, we hire ambassadors. So they have to have a full understanding of that. They have to be connected, right? It has to feel good when they get in the car with us. And it's a unique experience. So most of our drivers play somewhere between spa music and jazz music because we want to create that environment. We also keep our vehicles extremely clean and cared for. So we try to create that experience for them. Our hourly rate is $20 an hour, right? That's not something that you can get everywhere, but the expectation is that you're an ambassador to the community. You don't represent guests, you represent the cities in which we serve. So the short answer is good. Could it be going better? But we're looking for the best to do this job to serve the communities in which we're very fortunate to have contracts with.
I think they have an ambassador who's on our Arts Commission, I believe, Dixon.
Yes,
Angela.
yes, Angela
Yep,
Dixon, that is correct.
Right.
She was very fortunate to join our team. She actually showed up with her husband to our Riverside opening. So not only are we hiring people, we want people to feel engaged. We don't want them to feel marginalized. We have tremendous amount of opportunity and upside for growth, and we want every person that works with us to be able to have that opportunity to grow.
She's extremely excited about the opportunity.
It's good.
I would just like to make a comment real quick, Mayor. Lavelle, one, great presentation. Thank you very much. There are, as you know, a lot of eyes on this program, right? And I believe from all of us, I'm sure, is that we are very thankful for you and your guys' organization, right? The way that you're coming in right now, the way that you're speaking, the way that you guys are presenting your company is what we want in our community. So
Thank you.
I want to say thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Comments? Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for the presentation. I've heard nothing but great things about Guest and was actually at the Arts Commission meeting. She's got nothing but great things to say about her new employer. Just had a quick question for you. I know there was a slight delay in the rollout of the mobile app. I just wanted to confirm that was fully operational and able to be used currently.
Yes, it's fully operational and able to be used. What I will tell you is that we're building the car and driving it at the same time. What that mobile app was originally slated to do in its original state, 1.0 state, is not what it's designed to do today. So we're looking at how do we enhance it and make it more robust to larger ride share corporations while still staying connected to the community. So there's two things that we're doing. On the back end, we increased our back end storage, so that helped us as well. We're also looking at a white box model so that we're able to add a more robust version of the app out there. So we're still looking at to innovate and improve. But when we started this out, we thought it would be one way. What we found out is that 99% of our trips want to be scheduled. They want to know, and part of this is past trauma. They want to know that, number one, someone's going to pick up the phone or text or make sure that they're confirmed. That's thing one, because a lot of their trips were dropped in the past. So there was just past trauma. That's all it was. And we are filling that gap with the conversations, text messages, so forth, to do that. So the app transparently wouldn't have helped us solve that problem initially, but as we continue to grow and roll out, it absolutely will serve as an integral part of what we do going forward. And it's still a work in progress. It's functional, but it is not what you're used to on a multi-billion-dollar platform such as Uber, Lyft. But we're definitely looking at ways to enhance it consistently. And if there's ever an issue, we have the phone number to use, thing one. But also, all of you have my phone number and or email. Reach out. But our goal is to continue to improve it. Again, we're probably at our 2.0 version. We're looking to get to more of a 3.0 version by the end of the year. But we're also, again, not just looking to enhance it. We're going, hey, is there something else out there that we can integrate within the next, because everything takes time, 60 to 90 days to improve what we're doing? Thank you for the question.
That's
sir.
awesome. Thank you.
Lavelle, we just really appreciate the partnership that Guest has with the city. We really are grateful. You jumped in and cooperated with leadership of this city to meet a need that was sorely lacking. So we are very grateful. Thank you.
I appreciate that gratitude, and every single day we operate in that vein. So again, if you know we're hiring people like hotcakes. We all think that we hire the best people, and I operate every single day like I'm hiring the best people that are most talented, will represent all of us well. But what I will say is that there's always going to be opportunities, and every time anytime that stuff comes up, we're going to face it head on. We're going to be accountable for it. We're going to own it, and we're going to apologize to whoever we misstep on, and we're going to fix it. And that's what we're going to do. And we're going to do that as if we work for the city of Gladstone, the city of Liberty, Riverside, Parkville, North Kansas City. Every single day we look to make sure we make you guys look like rock stars, which is what we committed to that gentleman to the left there. It's not about us. It's about how we make your cities look.
Well, we appreciate that. And as Councilman Davis said, there are a lot of eyes on this program. And so far, you've been the epitome of professionalism. And we appreciate that. We know you don't take it for granted. And we really do appreciate it. Bob did a great job in taking a lead from someone and making this happen. And you and Patrick have been just phenomenal. And you're right. We've touted this as a service to our community, to our residents. And our name's on the line just with yours. And so we really appreciate you. So thank you.
We'll continue to get better, and I appreciate you guys' time. And again, thank you for letting us be a part of your community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That might be a first.
Oh,
I don't think anyone's ever gotten an applause after making a presentation. I know the next guy's not going to.
No, I won't. That's right. Well, every year we get to this time where we have to go back and reflect on the goals that you gave us last year to work on for 2025. As later this week, we're scheduled to actually go into goal setting to work on our 26 goals. So it only makes sense that we go through and, let's see how we did on these and see how much work needs to be done moving forward. So there's 11 goals here. I'm going to kind of go through these as quick as I can. Goal number 1 is keep Gladstone as a safe place with a focus on crime reduction, traffic enforcement, and the recruitment and retention of high-quality police officers, firefighters, and EMS personnel. I think from a police perspective, what we've done is when the council approved us to be a Blue Shield city, we were eligible for a $50,000 grant, which we received, and upgraded some technology that's not in place yet, but if you remember the presentation we had on the Star Chase, GPS darts, the rifle grade plates for the vests, and the side-by-side for the special events, the ATV that we use on the trails and stuff. We do have the ATV already, and I think we do have the plates for the armor. We've tried to be as innovative as we could on our recruitment. We started a new entrant police officer program for people 19 to 21 years old that actually gets them in the door, actually gets them familiar with the policies and procedures. They can assist with booking. They can actually help in the jail and watch the prisoners, which is needed, which allows an officer to get back out on the street again. To this point, we haven't hired any yet, but I just had a conversation with Chief Ferris today, and it looks like he's got a couple on the line to fill those slots. I'm a big believer in that program, and I think it'll work out for us. Compensation has been an issue. I mean, we're in a collective bargaining agreement with the FOP, and because we're following that bargaining agreement, we got a little behind. So in July, we actually, outside of their agreement, gave them a 7% proactive raise, which still isn't going to get us in the higher end of the market where we need to be for effective recruitment and retention. And so I would say right now we've approached the FOP, said you have a year left on your contract. We're not going to give you a raise outside of your contract again, so what we want to do is renegotiate the contract a year early, kind of make things up and get them back in the market in January at mid-year. And so we're leaning that way, and we're actually having conversation with the FOP this Friday. And I think those will go pretty well. We kind of have a plan on how we're going to get back into the higher end of the market. The police chief has actually started an advisory board. He has select officers that he's grabbed off each shift and out of each unit that meet with him monthly to discuss culture and any issues that can be resolved, which is a step in a good direction. I always say, anybody that's been around me, they hear me talk about elephants and mosquitoes. And the elephants, are the pay and the benefits, and that's what I'm working on. And this advisory board is actually to swat the mosquitoes. And we find that the mosquitoes tend to actually make people more frustrated, sometimes rather than pay. And I still think culture is worth something, so we need to concentrate more on making the culture correct. In a fire EMS perspective, we've increased paramedic sponsorship and leadership development. For the paramedics, we've figured out a way where we can help sponsor 2 EMTs into paramedic programs per year. That actually helps, and I know Chief Desitel has done a good job of hiring EMTs that aspire to be paramedics, which is quite a bit more training. But if we can help them financially and assist with that, and also help cover shifts and stuff while they're in class and while they're doing their practical stuff, that's what we've been doing to try to do that. We had a very good, this past year, Local 42, the IFF, their collective bargaining agreement was up over on the fire side. We sat down with them, and we just had a very positive negotiations with IAFF, and I think everybody walked out really, really happy. And I credit Chief Desitel a lot for that, because as I say, he kind of set the table ahead of time and managed expectations on both sides, and then allowed everything to happen. So we actually had really good negotiations there. I'm really happy about that. Continued commitment to downtown commercial corridors, underdeveloped areas. We're still sitting on the $4.4 million that we had from the last COP, and then the grant for the North Oak trafficway improvements. We held off for a year. Tim was able to successfully get with Mark and push the project down the road a year. So this is the year we're actually going to start this project. You won't see anything moving, dirt moved or anything, till after World Cup, but right now he's you know, going in, getting assessments on easements, so we can do, but, you know, get the property that we actually need to make the improvements that we talked about, and we'll talk about that more in goal setting on Thursday. We coordinated with MoDOT for the major upgrades to M1 that are going on right now. My hope is as much blame as we got for all the potholes on M1, I'm hoping that really weren't our fault. We did coordinate with them, but I'm hoping that we actually get a lot of the credit for that roadway once it's all smoothed out and repainted and all new curbs and gutters and islands. So we had some grant wins, $1.4 million for Old Antioch Road. Again, we'll talk about that on Thursday. And then $1.6 million for the Vivian Road Trail. We're still looking at that, kind of waiting on to see what MoDOT's going to do with I-29 and the whole ramp business down there. We have some new businesses in town with Nick's Lounge, Overflow Coffee, the Animal Clinic expansion over at 60th and Antioch, and one of my favorite, Off the Hook Barbecue, which is rapidly, everybody I talk to, they're saying it's some of their favorite barbecue in town. So that's really good. And again, we're looking for the future, looking, and conversations are still trying to happen with doing something with that property across the street from the hotel. That kind of fell through on us. Some high density housing, and we're still trying to get some development over on the M1 corridor over there at 72nd Street, whether it be north or whether it be south. We've had those conversations as well. Resources and support strategies to continue to improve residential and commercial code enforcement. You'll see at 2025 violations, our cases went up almost 600 from 2024. We went to the larger visibility signs. I think it was 2 council members that actually asked us to make those larger, and we did. Still educational articles, brochures, social media, magazine articles where we're trying to, you know, reach out and educate people on maintenance of their property. I know quite often in FYN you'll see before and after successes. Austin's pretty good about grabbing those and putting those in there so you can actually see the wins that we do have. And we've, you know, 3 neighborhood events this year for dumpster days help achieve a couple goals. But that's to help clean up. And I want to add that the cases are up over in code enforcement, despite the fact that we've replaced both of those code enforcement positions this year. So we've actually hired people and asked them to hit the ground running, and we've been really pleased with how proactive they've been this year. You can see that the cases were up. Build an event center to replace the existing barn at the AJ Farm. We'll talk about that again on Thursday, but for right now, I think we were all there when we broke ground on that. That was an exciting day. Construction started in September, and we're looking for a June 2026 completion. All that was supported through the 2024 COP bonds, and we were able to take some budget surplus and move over there as that project actually grew. You know, in size and costs and some of the infrastructure that we're taking place out there. And we really do feel that's going to create a long-term revenue stream out there. We've been wondering for years what to do with that other than the museum, and this is actually a perfect opportunity to get that up. Again, we'll talk about that on Thursday, as well as some other partnerships we're talking about for the farm. Prioritize infrastructure for neighborhood revitalization, $2 million in street maintenance, $2 million planned for 2026. That's double what we were doing a couple of years ago. We were doing $1 million. And both last year and this year, we were able to divert an extra $750,000 out of budget surplus back into the roads, curbs, gutters, and sidewalks. Water main breaks still continue to be a problem, despite the fact that we've laid a lot of a water main at a cost of about $1 million a mile. Problem is there's like 135 miles of, a water main in Gladstone. So we continue to chase those, but we're making progress on taking and replacing some of the worst. As you see, the water tower rehab, one's done and one's in progress. The trail investments, $1.5 million on the Leonard and Connector Trail, which is still ongoing with the new bridge they set, which is pretty impressive. If you haven't been over there to see it, you need to see it. It's actually, that was all done with a $720,000 grant. And then we were able to do home repair grants for 3 homes in 2025, and we're planning to do the same in 26 as well. That's a new program. Beautifying Gladstone, I'd like to take a whole lot of credit for that, but I'm going to let Mayor Pro Tem Moore take the most credit for that, and those that have gone out there religiously to help clean that up. I think I ordered the vests is about that's my claim to fame with that. But despite that, which has been a very successful program, we have done community programs. We've done dumpster days, and we've done neighborhood cleanups. And so we've also had over 2,000 residents take advantage of the special collection, hazardous waste, e-waste, shredding. We did brush this last weekend, so those have all been big successes to try to encourage community pride by keeping it beautifying Gladstone. Here's another one, promote diversity and equity and inclusion, and Council Member Spallo, I give her credit for actually getting us on the board with that as she represents us in the Pride Parade every year. The training, we continue the orientation videos, and this year again, as we do every 3 or 4 years, we have the retired FBI agent give us the class on implicit bias, which is that's a great class. We love having him in here. It's different every time, and he gets very high reviews from the employees. But he always is good about giving us a different perspective on how to think about things. NPR Online University and Streamery is a new one that we're doing for on-demand educational access. And again, when we talk about Councilmember Spallo's ongoing participation in the Pride Parade. Continue to improve and build communication strategies to better inform and engage our residents. We have daily engagement and improved event promotion. I know Nikki's on there every day making posts, monitoring social media, using Twitter, using Facebook, using the magazine, and then we do a newsletter on top of that. We've been using Gladstone alerts a little bit more, the Everbridge. When we've been using that for major water main breaks. We used it for Gladfest. So that's been kind of successful for us. And then upcoming project is to redesign the website and to make that ADA compliant. And I know that's been a big thing for a lot of people. Continue towards developing Flora Park. Those contracts, and that's been a sea of contracts, but I think we're in the final run here. Jackson, when I talked to him last week, said that the final construction contract is in the hands of Variety KC and Play Power. So we expect to get that back and to actually break ground on that very soon. We got another $500,000 grant from the state. That brings us up to $1.75 million for that park, and that's for phase 1 and phase 2. So we're going to be able to kind of complete both those phases over the next year, and I'm really looking forward to that park. That whole area is going to be transformed over there with the park, phase 1, phase 2, and then Oak Hill Manor Elementary School is getting a major facelift over there. So that neighborhood's about ready to look really cool really quick. Explore opportunities for improving infrastructure and roads. Again, we're still working on the HUD grant. I think we're on the last leg of the HUD grant. That money, we're assured, is in there, and all we're getting ready to send stuff out to RFP so we can get the bids that we need, all the environmental studies and all the other stuff that we had the hoops we had to jump through and all the red tape. That's all done. We're getting ready to go out to RFP for the HVAC system that we're looking for. Again, the DNR matching grant for Flora Park. We're still working through Mark and again, our partnerships with Variety KC, and I'm still going to talk about the partnership that we have with the North Kansas City School District over at the community center. We couldn't do that without our partnership there. $1.4 million, Old Antioch Road, $1.6 million for Vivian Road. And again, we have the $4 million North Oak grant, $4.4 million North Oak grant that we're working on right now. And we'll talk more about the North Oak grant again on Thursday. Prepare for the opportunities and challenge that will come with World Cup. This actually makes my head hurt. The more we talk about, and the closer we get and the more conversation we have, the more I feel like as a region we're unprepared for. So we're going to have to do a lot of work real quick. We got a watch party planned over at Happy Rock. That's in partnership with Go North KC. Again, we'll talk about some stuff on Thursday regarding what we do with Airbnb and what we do with liquor laws during the FIFA. So there's some short-term stuff we need to talk about there too. And other than the goals and all the work we've done on the goals, we were able to get the Gladfest parade back. We had a very successful barbecue contest. Guest transit, who saw that? I didn't see that coming, but last year when we were sitting down for goals, transit was the least thing on my mind actually, and then it kind of blew up to kind of be a big thing again. And I thought you agree with me. I think we've hit it out of the park after our presentation today, and we've actually been a regional leader in that. Great Whiskey Fest. We had a great year of Linden Square programming. Kind of restructured some parks, recs, and cultural art stuff. And with all this stuff going on and all these goals and everything we have, we actually replaced 2 key leadership positions, important ones in finance and in parks. And I know Jordan, he literally had to hit the ground running. So hats off to him. So that's basically how we've gone on on the 11 goals. It turned into a 14-page memo that you guys have had, and every year when I put that together, I just kind of go, wow, holy cow, we got a lot done this year. So any questions?
Thank you.
All right.
Oh, sure. Lead follower, get the heck out of the way. Anyway, thank you, City Manager Bear. Apologize for our meeting getting started just a tad bit late, but as you can tell, it was well worth the update. I hope you all enjoyed it. So I'd like to call to order the November 10, 2025 Gladstone City Council meeting. Madam Clerk, please note that all council members are present, and would you please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, one nation. Thank you. Item 4 is approval of the agendas. Council have any additions to the agenda? Item 5 is approval of the October 27, 2025 regular city council meeting minutes.
Mayor Smith.
Mayor Pro Tem Moore.
I move for the approval of the October 27, 2025 regular city council meeting minutes.
Second?
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Item 6 is communications from the audience. Members of the public are invited to speak about any topic not listed on our agenda this evening. While speaking, please state your name and address for the record and limit your comments to 5 minutes. Good evening, Mr. Strasser.
Good evening. My name is Greg Strasser, live at 6709 North Agnes Avenue in Gladstone. I've only been there for 28 years. I am here not to complain about anything. I think most people that come up for audience communications probably want to gripe about holes in their streets or the squirrels in the neighborhood are too loud. I'm here instead to say thank you to Chief Ferris. I tried to catch him at Shop with a Cop, the pancake breakfast, but we didn't make contact. There have been several articles lately in the newspaper we all depend on, the Star, about OH7, or is it 70H? I think I've read both. And I am really happy with what he is doing, and I realize he was not able to do that in a vacuum, that he must have had support from Manager Bob and 5 council members and so forth. And so my congratulations and my thank you. Drugs are horrible. know of family members that have been affected, and so that's, any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Is there anyone else who would like to address the council? Next, communications to the city council, Councilman Nave.
Oh, thanks, Mayor. Had an opportunity to attend the North Kansas City Schools Education Foundation annual fall breakfast with Mayor and Mayor Pro Tem Moore. It was a great morning. Very surprised at how diverse North Kansas City School District is, and it's the second largest in the state. Really amazing schools we have here in Gladstone, and it was great to support them. Final thing, saw a really great story on Channel 5 earlier this week about a lady in Gladstone named Kelly Perez, who's apparently running a food pantry in her front yard. I thought that was just really amazing, kind of given some of the macro government items going on. So just kudos to Kelly and anyone else that's doing the same.
Thank you.
That's all I have,
Councilman-
Mayor.
Sorry, Councilman Davis.
The only thing I'll say is, and I think you may hit on this as well, is that we've seen a lot of success driving by the new dog park. A lot of traffic there, and that's exciting. So that's it.
Councilmember Spallo.
Well, kudos to everyone that made presentations tonight. I think you guys did a great job, and we appreciate all the hard work that all the city staff are doing in accomplishing the goals that we have set forth. Looking forward to Thursday and to that planning session. It's always very productive. Yes, the dog park is amazing, and I really shouldn't be the one talking about it, but my dog, he would happily talk to you about it. But I'd like to wish every one of our staff, any of the men or women that have served in the armed forces, a happy Veterans Day tomorrow, and make sure that you hit every restaurant in Gladstone for your free meals. So, thank you, Mayor.
Mayor Pro Tem Moore.
I just wanted to echo Councilmember Spallo to just remind everybody that tomorrow is Veterans Day, and it's a great opportunity for us to pause for a moment and recognize those people present and past who have served our country so bravely. Thank you.
One thing about being mayor is all you have to do is say ditto, and about covers it all. But I want to touch base just on one thing that Councilman Nave said at the North Kansas City Education Foundation breakfast. And because these things give me hope, the director of the foundation is a young lady named Midori Carpenter. And Midori grew up in my household with my daughter, running around singing Backstreet Boys with fake microphones. And both of them have grown up to be amazing young women who lead amazing organizations, and couldn't be prouder of them. But the point being is there's a lot of good in this world, and there's a lot of young people who are doing really good things, and I hope we never lose sight of that. City Manager Bob Bear.
I only have one thing tonight, and I just want to, as we talked about in the presentation, as far as the home grants, we're once again accepting applications for the city's home repair grant. It's a program administered by our neighborhood commission. This grant helps eligible homeowners make important home repairs with funding tailored to meet their needs. Residents can learn more and apply on the city's website.
Thank you. Item 9 is the consent agenda. Madam Clerk, will you please explain and read the consent agenda?
A consent agenda allows the city council to consider and approve routine items of business without discussion. Any member of the city council, the city staff, or the public may request removal of any item from the consent agenda and request that it be considered under the regular agenda if discussion or debate of the item is desired. Items not removed from the consent agenda will stand approved upon motion by any council member, second unanimous vote, to approve the consent agenda as published or modified. Consent agenda, special event permit, La Tierra General Mills hiring event, Gladstone Community Center, Wednesday, November 12, 2025, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Resolution R-25-70, a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with Amy Jacobson, doing business as Ferris Wheel Studios, LLC, for the design, construction, and installation of a public art piece at the community dog park. Resolution R-25-71, a resolution authorizing the city manager to sign an agreement with the Elders Incorporated to provide musical entertainment services for the 2026 Independence Day celebration. Resolution R-25-72, a resolution authorizing the city manager to sign an agreement with Midwest Music Supply to provide stage, lighting, sound, and projection screen services for the 2026 Independence Day celebration.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience who would like an item removed for discussion? Staff? Council? Entertain a motion?
Mayor Smith,
Councilmember Spallo.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Consent agenda has been approved as published. First reading, Bill number 25-30, an ordinance amending Title V, Business and Occupations of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Gladstone, Missouri to amend Chapter 105, Alarm Systems.
Mayor Smith,
Councilmember Spallo.
I move to place Bill number 25-30 on its first reading.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Madam Clerk, will you please read the bill?
First reading Bill number 25-30, an ordinance amending Title V, Business and Occupations of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Gladstone, Missouri to amend Chapter 105, Alarm Systems.
Mayor Smith,
Councilmember Spallo.
I move to accept the first reading of Bill number 25-30 and waive the rule and place the bill on its second and final reading.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Madam Clerk?
Second reading Bill number 25-30, an ordinance amending Title V, Business and Occupations of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Gladstone, Missouri to amend Chapter 105, Alarm Systems.
Mayor Smith,
Councilmember Spallo.
I move to accept the second and final reading of Bill number 25-30 and enact it as ordinance number 4.714.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Madam Clerk?
Councilman Nave?
Aye.
Councilman Davis?
Aye.
Councilmember Spallo?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Moore?
Aye.
Mayor Smith?
Aye. Bill 25-30 has been acted as ordinance number 4.714. First reading, Bill number 25-31, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to execute an intergovernmental agreement between the City of Gladstone and the Mid-America Regional Council, MARC, Solid Waste Management District for the 2026 Regional Household Hazardous Waste Collection Program in the amount of $31,440.06.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Nave.
I move to place Bill number 25-31 on its first reading.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Madam Clerk, will you please read the bill?
First reading Bill number 25-31, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to execute an intergovernmental agreement between the City of Gladstone and the Mid-America Regional Council, MARC, Solid Waste Management District for the 2026 Regional Household Hazardous Waste Collection Program in the amount of $31,440.06.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Nave.
I move to accept the first reading of Bill number 25-31, waive the rule, and place the bill on its second and final reading.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Madam Clerk.
Second reading Bill number 25-31, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to execute an intergovernmental agreement between the City of Gladstone and the Mid-America Regional Council, MARC, Solid Waste Management District for the 2026 Regional Household Hazardous Waste Collection Program in the amount of $31,440.06.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Nave.
I move to accept the second and final reading of Bill number 25-31 and enact the bill as ordinance number 4-715.
Second.
Motion is second. Is there any discussion? Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilman Nave?
Aye.
Councilman Davis?
Aye.
Councilmember Spallo?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Moore?
Aye.
Mayor Smith?
Aye. Bill number 25-31 has been enacted as ordinance number 4.715. Item 12, resolution R25-73, a resolution authorizing acceptance of material under contract with Legacy Post and Beam Incorporated for the purchase of a 1.5-story gable barn kit and authorizing final payment in the amount of $105,164.78 for project CP2454.
Mayor Smith.
Mayor Pro Tem Moore.
I move for the adoption of Resolution R-25-73.
Second?
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Resolution R 25-73 has been adopted. Item 13 is Resolution R 25-74, a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a contract with Fraser Oil Company for the purchase of unleaded and diesel fuel.
Mayor Smith,
Councilman Davis.
I move for the adoption of Resolution R-25-74.
Second?
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Resolution R 25-74 has been adopted. Is there any other business to come before us this evening? Hearing none, we're adjourned. Thank you for being here.